paste that you're making with the ash. And you see how it just takes off the I am getting a delivery today. I'm gonna run in and actually work for about 3 or 4 hours for my buddy, whose mailbox is where I get deliveries. So I'm gonna pick up my delivery while I'm at work, and it's pretty cool. I'm gonna get a fireplace. We're gonna look at what we gotta do. I'm pretty sure we have to burn it first before we put it in the house to burn it. So we might actually have a fire out here. Really slippery. Alright, so the bed is covered with these solid pieces of metal, and they're everywhere. We're going to put those together in a little bit. Boxes everywhere, which we're going to burn in a second. And chimney parts everywhere. So it's a nautical fireplace. It's made to be on things that are moving. So having said that, it has a double wall chimney. Double wall chimney originally, right? And then this goes on the outside of it as it passes through the wooden roof. So it's made to go in houses that are made of wood or boats or fiberglass or RVs. It's made for this. The other thing is, even though it's a tiny fireplace, it weighs a crazy amount because it has bricks built into it, and the metal is 14 millimeters thick. It's kind of crazy how tough of a stove it is. But we're gonna have to light a fire in it because you have to pre-burn it outside, otherwise it'll make this space smell when we finally do burn it in here. And I kind of want to see what these stainless steel pipes look like anyways. And then once we get the stand, so I've got the mount. I have a mount that puts it where you can just stand it in the ground, right? And then it'll be right in front of this window, I believe. We'll move it around and try to figure it out. We might have to figure out a different place, but I believe it'll sit here, and the chimney will run up the middle right here, right, and we'll build something for firewood. And now the other thing I think we might do is get rid of some of these batteries and some of this storage right here, and actually just open up this front area more. We'll see. I mean, really, to be honest, part of me wants to get rid of all this cabinet right here and put the fireplace dead center right here in front of this window. I mean, that would open up a lot of space, and that's so much better to look at than all this junk. Okay, so the manuals are online, and I looked at them. This is not hard. It's basically an erector set. But everything is so beautiful. It's just, if I didn't have a sponsor, I couldn't afford this. It's one of these things that I've been trying to get for more than a year. I might go through the story about how I tried to get this thing a year ago coming into winter because I've wanted a cubic mini fireplace ever since you start watching tiny homes and tiny anything. And they were like, your channel's too small, we're gonna pass on this. And then I email them back because they, very few people, either they respond with a yes or they don't respond. And these guys responded with a no for the first time. And I was like, how big does my channel have to get? And this winter, my channel got that big. And I sent them an email and they gave me the full package. These guys are awesome. They hooked me up. And we're going to be warm with like fire. Quiet fire going. And they sent me fans. They also sent me the tools and a cabinet to put firewood and stuff in. So I'm excited. This is going to be cool. got a whole set of tools that I can use too. Oh, burn my hands. Oh, I do smell. I can smell that burn off smell they're talking about. Apparently it's not harmful for you or your pets, but it does smell. It smells kind of like not even plastic, just like a paint. And that's what's happening, is the paint is curing, which is why we're doing this out here. And then for the first 30 hours that you use it, it'll have that it'll get less and less as it goes. First burn's the worst. So okay, so you're probably wondering, how do you make your coffee? Well, I haven't put this together yet, but this is, and then the little water spout comes here. I'll put that all together eventually. It just looks so nice. Probably a nice thing I have in the boat, to be honest. I gotta start having we're gonna have to redo the inside of the boat to make the boat look nice. No more of this river rat stuff, River. He's tied up to the generator, so I don't have to pay attention to him. It's just warm enough that the snakes might think of coming out for a little bit. So, and I'm trying to burn things. I don't want to worry about two things at once. Although he just found a toad. So they sent me the accessories kit with all the little tools that match the stove. I gotta get used to the fact that I'm in a cubic mini, and make them so they fit through the door. So this is the Grizzly. It's the bigger one. And then they come in this one is actually, even though I know it's actually really pretty and much better than most of the things in my boat, they do come with like a brass finish if you want to make it even nicer. I was like, hey, all this stuff already looks too nice for my boat. I'm gonna almost have to paint inside or something. Alright, so this has been my first fire with it. I am really impressed. Everything burns really well. You can put a big enough, log in there that you get a good bed of coals. So you won't have to tend it, every 5 minutes. But at the same time, right now, I'm not going to add any more wood. This is a good bed of coals. I'm going to see what happens in like 2 or 3 hours if it's still warm. Everything is, it's just beautiful to work with. I have some questions I want to look up. I want to see if this is a damper or if it's something to drain the ashes. I have a shovel that came with it, so I kind of feel like that's a damper, an air damper that goes directly up to the chimney, but I could be wrong. Could be just a way to get the ashes out. And then everything else is really cool with it. I got the stand put together. I'll show you that too. And I know what everyone's curious about is the chimney. Like when I cut a hole in my rubber and how I basically run a chimney here through the solar and all that stuff right there. So of this video, we will capture that the most, because I know that's what everyone's worried about. Basically, with this type of fireplace and any type of fireplace, you shouldn't have a 90-degree, which is what I did last time. I went 90 degrees outside and then 90 degrees up, and you shouldn't have that. That's bad airflow. It makes everything build up on the 90-degree cuts, and it's a bad system. It won't let the fireplace ever get to run efficiently. It'll burn wood wrong, and it's not a good thing. So we are going straight up the top, right out the chimney, right out the top of the boat up there. This is how I was taught to do this. I don't know if it's the right exact way to do it, but you get ash on the towel. This is damp with water. And then the ash is like a grit almost, and it will wear away at it to kind of rub it off. And that's how you kind of clean the windows. I was always told to use not paper towel, but an actual rag, which I'm gonna try, and I think that'll work a little better. But it's the paste with the ash that makes that grit on there. Yeah, you see how it's kind of coming off. The other thing is, if you don't want this to happen, don't burn things like cardboard. Things that make black smoke make this. So if you burn a lot of those fire starters kits come with little bricks. If you put that in there and start it with that, you won't actually make the window dirty to begin with. But I was burning cardboard. So this little paste that you're making with the ash, and you see how it just takes off the Now again, this is just something that someone taught me. I didn't look this up. I could be wrong. It just has always worked for me. And I know that when you clean glass, you could do something wrong when you use the wrong chemicals. I'm pretty sure you can't do anything wrong with vinegar, but yeah. The other thing is, if you break this, or if it gets to the point where you can't clean it, they're like $30 to buy a new one, which is pretty cool. And they're replaceable. You just take the door apart. The other thing is, in a boat, I could see this accidentally getting slammed and breaking, or something hitting it too. Remember, these are boat and RV fireplaces. They're made for tiny places, but if you had a shed, the reason why they're so high quality and the build is so good is because they're meant to be movable, and in something that's bouncing around in the ocean. It's coming clean. I'm not gonna burn cardboard in here at all. I'll do that in my other one. I love when the water is low and there's nice dry beaches like this. It's perfect for exploring all the way around island. Look how far the water's down. It would normally be right up to the tree line there. Nice little beach. That's a funny jump he did. You could tell he's excited when he overruns the throw by twice the distance. I'm gonna play with my dog. He's gonna be mad I'm leaving him. I'm gonna go fishing with my best friend here, Jamie Davis.
It's a Friday night, long drive to nowhere. I'm down and out, but she don't care. Not a down for a ticket anywhere. Split a fifth of gin with a friend of mine. Tailgate sitting, just wasting time. Sun in my eye, saw anyway. This is what she had to say. I like sunrises, back roads, long drives, torn clothes, cheap beer and good weed. The smell after the rain. Any day without pain, cool wind on a hot day. Having to struggle a little bit, but still getting my way. I like sunrises, back roads, long drives, torn clothes. I like sunglasses and suntans. Beaches, catching the limit. I like the sun on my skin, keeping moments within. It's a Friday
bigger than my damn hands. That's hard to do.
I'm down and out. but she don't care. Not a dime for a ticket anywhere. Split a fifth of gin with a friend of mine. Tailgate sitting just a waste of time. Sun in my eye, saw her anyway. This is what she had to say. I like sunrises, back roads, long drives, tone close, cheap beer and good weed. The smell after the rain. Any day without pain, cool wind on a hot day. Having to struggle a little bit, but still getting my way. I like
That's a big guy.
I'll take one down.
Yeah, easily.
He's a red 11.
Single wall pipe becomes extremely hot. Typically, it's about as hot as the top of the fireplace, and then it gradually gets cooler as it goes up the chimney. But if you touch it anywhere near the fireplace, it's as hot as the actual top of the fireplace. Single wall pipe. Double wall pipe. These you can bump, you can touch. I don't recommend I'm never going to recommend touching a pipe while it's hot, but if you do that, it doesn't burn you. If you get I've been this close and you don't feel the heat off of it from just this double wall pipe. Okay, so it's a pipe inside, see? Inside another one. Then, when you're talking about going through a surface that can start on fire and can get too hot, if it gets too hot, it'll start on fire, like a wood surface or the rubber roof. Then you start getting into insulated, where there's an inch of insulation around this pipe. This is now the third pipe wall that's going through here. And this will go, the hole that will be cut in the wall or the ceiling will be big enough to fit this all through. It actually goes like this. And right before you get to the top, it'll go to the thick pipe. The wood would go here. This goes another 12 inches up through the roof, and then the chimney part goes on top. There's another double wall that goes on top of the chimney as well. So when you're looking outside, and this is all shiny metal too. When you're looking outside, all you're going to see is the thick. But this thin double wall is going to go all the way up to the chimney cap, which is somewhere around. It's outside. Let me grab it. So that's what it'll look like outside. Little chimney coming out, letting the smoke out. Big thick pipe touching the wood. And then you're wondering, do I have to cut the hole perfect when I cut through the hole, through the roof? No. These come in. That's what you're going to see from underneath. If I have like gaps in my hole, that's what you're going to see from underneath, looking up. Then on top, just like every other pipe, because it's a cool pipe going through, it's not hot, you just cut it at the right width. Seal with putty and then screw it down. I've seen people do insane amount of screws all the way around. I think I'll talk about that. I'll figure that out too, but that's next video. That's how it's all gonna work. And that's also the reason why this is twice as much as most fireplaces, because they don't sell they don't sell it with this type of pipe. The fireplace is made to be in a nautical or an RV. It's made to move around, and it's made to be very small but yet create a bunch of heat and keep that heat for as long as possible. Just like a potbelly stove or just like a large stove inside of a cabin. However, it's made to take up very small space and be close to the walls and close to burnable surfaces, which is why it's made with very little heat coming out of the chimney. Now, we haven't even talked about the design of the stove itself. Doesn't let heat go into the chimney. It has baffles on the top of the stove that dissipate the heat going up into the actual cooktop of the stove, making the stove itself hotter than the chimney, which is very different than most stoves. It's funny, it was freezing cold for like a week, and I started thinking about the fireplace, and now it's 80 degrees, 75 degrees every day. Okay, so one thing I want to talk to you guys about, number one, look at new coffee cup. All right, one thing I want to talk to you guys about, where do you think I should put it? During the video, I've had a couple of thoughts. Before I bought it, I was going to put it here and just have the fireplace. I have a metal cover. Shiny, nice metal cover. All this comes off and it reveals a really beautiful metal. And this goes on the back of the stand right here. Then the fireplace goes there. I was actually going to put it in front of this window. The more I think about it, I don't like looking at this stuff. A lot of the stuff I don't use. Really, I use the water and the dog food bowls. I feel like I could minimize this whole area. My thought is to get rid of most of that stuff. And then in the process, so when I built the boat, I took a torch and I burnt the bottom of the boat all the way around. And you can kind of see that in the background. I don't like it. So I think what I'm going to do is take some pallet wood and make a pallet wood wall here and here. Make a pallet wood wall. Take this out, make a pallet wood wall all the way up underneath the window and put the fireplace right here so you can see the window. Yeah, that's what I think. Probably the best shot. So my thought is take this stuff out, make maybe a corner shelf right here, and then have this be firewood and like the fireplace with the chimney going up to the right in the center of the window, right here where the mark is, but not anywhere close to the window where it would mess up me moving the window on and, you know. And then the fireplace would stay there year round. The top would close up in the middle of summer. That's pretty much how I want to do it. And I think I would make some shelves along here. I'm going to use some kind of pallet wood or cedar to make the trim and clean that all out so you don't see the fire burn. Trim on there, trim on the tops up here, and trim out these two walls. Maybe even do insulation before we trim them out, and then maybe stain the wall or paint the wall with like a whitewash color, or maybe even use the same, make it dark and make it the same color as the trim outside with the black stove. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think. I mean, over the next week or so, I'm going to be looking at doing this. And then within 2 weeks, I kind of want to cut the hole in the roof and have everything mounted and have everything going for winter. And I want to know if there's any problems with the roof before it gets, before it gets winter. So. This is my view. Yeah, redoing these walls would be great. I gotta clean some fish before dinner. Subscribe, like, comment. You guys are awesome. I love you all. Thank you. So some people look right at this and say bluegill. They call it shell crackers down here because down here they eat those tiny little... I'll actually go get them. They eat these. So they crack these little guys open and they eat the meat. And that's why they call them shell crackers. Yeah, I'm glad we painted the boat. And I'm really excited to do more on the inside of the boat and make it more home-like rather than... I love the river rat life, but I also have this kind of, this pride in so I put half of the fish carcass in the water after I cleaned it, and he's going after it. I like the new house. I like the new look. It feels good being around it. I'm happy we did it. Hey! 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 It's a dead fish, bro. It's missing most of its body. River, don't eat that fish. You always get one. Because you're a good boy. Isn't that good? You're a good dog. I'm not going to cook the fish today because my buddy gave me some beef stew. And he made a bunch for a bunch of the people at the marina and stuff. So I'm heating that up tonight. And that's what we're going to eat. So I know in the next couple of episodes, we are looking at hunting some deer. We're going to do some more fishing. We are going to do some remodeling of the houseboat inside, the interior. And obviously put this fireplace in the next couple of videos as well. But all of the winter preparations, are going to start happening in the next couple of episodes over the next month or so. River, come here! Over the next month or so. And it's going to be pretty exciting. So go ahead and hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you are subscribed, I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. See you guys soon.